Good day, everyone. My name is Norbert. Welcome to Nursing in USA channel. In this video, I'll be talking about TEAS test requirements for nursing school in the US. I will use the following outline for my presentation today. As you can see on the outline, the first thing is I will talk about TEAS, what TEAS is all about, how to register for TEAS, the content area. I will go further to look into the sub-content areas of TEAS and tell you what it's all about. I will also let you know how long you should study for TEAS. I will go further to tell you the TEAS score requirements. That is the grade that you are expected to get, the score that you need to come out of after your TEAS test in order to get into the nursing program. I will also show you the books that I use for my studies before I sat for the TEAS test. Before the recap, I will give you a general TEAS test tips that will guide you throughout your studies on each of the sections of the TEAS test. So, what is TEAS all about? So, TEAS stands for Test of Essential Academic Skills. The TEAS test is used for nursing admission, and it covers the topic that are done in the high school from 7th to 12th grade. You will be taking a reading test, math test, science, and English test in the TEAS test. So, TEAS test has 170 questions. 20 of them are unscored pre-test items. So 150 of the questions will be used to evaluate your results. So whatever score you're going to get from the TEAS will be graded or will be gotten from 150 of the questions out of the 170 questions you will be taking in the TEAS test. So registration. How do you register for the TEAS test? To take the TEAS test, you will have to sign up for an account with ATI. You can then register for your test from your account. So once you register, you will be given a test date and also what you're gonna bring during the test. So usually you will be asked to come with your photo ID, number 2 pencil, you're gonna come with 2 of them, and then you also have to come with your ATI login information because you will need to log into your own personal ATI account in order for you to be able to take the TEAS test. So let us look at the content area of the TEAS test. So in the TEAS test, you will be having the reading section. In the reading section, you're gonna be ready to answer 53 questions. The 53 questions you will be answering under the reading section of the TEAS test will take you 64 minutes. Then the second section will be the math. The math section has 36 questions. The 36 questions, you will be given 54 minutes to answer 36 questions under the math session. The next one is the science. The science session have the science session. It has 53 questions, and you will be given 60. It has 53 questions, but you will be given 63 minutes to answer the 53 questions under the science session. The English language, which is usually the last section of the TEAS test, you will be given 28 questions to answer within 28 minutes. So in total, you will see that the questions are 170 questions and the minutes will be 209 minutes. So if you do the math, you will find out that you have, on each section of the teas, you have less than 2 minutes to answer any question whatsoever, whether it's math, whether it's science, whether it's reading or English. You're going to have only less than 2 minutes to answer each question. But under the English section, it is clear that you have 1 minute for each question. So time is of essence in the TEAS test. So you're going to have to watch out and prepare yourself with good speed without missing your answers. So let us look at the sub-content area so that you have a clear view of what you'll be questioned on, the questions you will get, the area is going to be coming out from. So under the reading section of the TEAS, you will be tested on key ideas and details. So under the key ideas and details, you will be given 22 questions to answer under key ideas and details. So you also have craft and structure. Under the craft and structure, you'll be having 14 questions to answer under the craft and structure question. You will have 14 questions. So another one is the integration of knowledge and ideas. So under the integration of knowledge and ideas, you have 11 questions. So the total under this section will be 47. 47, that's where you'll be graded upon, plus the 6 pre-test items. Those 6 items are questions they want to see how students will go about them for subsequent exams. So they may be using those questions in the subsequent exams. So under the math section, it is grouped into two. So you'll be having questions from number and algebra. So under number and algebra, you have 23 questions to answer. Then for measurement and data, you have 9 questions. So both of them will give you 32 questions that you will be graded upon, and 4 pre-test items that you will not be graded upon. So in total, you'll be having 36 questions. For the science, you'll be tested on human anatomy and physiology. The human anatomy and physiology will cover 32 questions. Then life and physical sciences will have 8 questions. Scientific reasoning, we have 7 questions. So the total will be 42 graded test questions plus 6 pre-test items. That will give you 53 questions in total. So the last one is the English and language usage. The English and language usage, in that section you'll be tested on the conversion of standard English. They will give you 9 questions there. Under the knowledge of language, you will be given 9 questions also. So for the vocabulary acquisition, you will be given 6 questions. So particularly these vocabulary acquisition questions, you'll be tested on the synonyms and synonyms and antonyms. Yeah, that's it has to do with meanings of words, those who are opposite and similar. That's what we mean by synonyms and antonyms. So we're gonna have total of 24 questions plus 4 pre-test items, which will give you the 28 questions that you'll be answering. You'll be tested upon during your TEAS test. So here we're going to look at how long we should study for TEAS. We all know our capabilities. Every individual, how well you can study. Some people can study once, some people can study more than one. So when it comes to studying, retention and recollection, as a rule of thumb, make sure you study at least 3 days a week for proper understanding and retention of your studies. You have to ensure that you give yourself a minimum of 1 to 3 months. Give yourself a minimum of 1 to 3 months to study for the T's. So at this juncture, guys, let me give you an extra tip based on my own experience. Please and please make sure you take all your prerequisite classes before sitting for the test. I know why I'm saying this. Before you dive into taking the test, make sure you take all your nursing prerequisites. Guys, look at this. When I took my TIS test, I have only taken a few of my prerequisite classes. I remember I did not take my chemistry class before my TIS test. You know what? While I was taking my classes, I just saw literally all I studied for the TIS test and all I took during the test. I'm telling you, I'm really frank about what I'm saying. So while I was taking my classes, by then I was done with my TIS test. Everything I studied for the TIS and even some questions that I saw during the TIS test resurfaced during my classes. So I bet you, if I took that class, the chemistry class, before my TIS test, I would have done far better than I did. But the bottom line is that I passed my TIS and I got accepted into the nursing program. But what I'm saying here is that you will have a big advantage if you take all the classes before the test. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Just take all your prerequisites. You will stand on a better position. You have a lot of advantage, and you will be more comfortable taking the TIS test. So for the TIS scores that you need for admission, most schools keep their minimum score between 60 to 70%, but some schools may have a lesser than 60% requirement. So nevertheless, as an advice, that's what I'm going to give you, like a personal advice. Never aim at the minimum required score. Always aim at 100%, so that worst case scenario, you will finish with a good score. So regardless of what the minimum score needed by any school, don't never shoot for that minimum. Always go for 100, so that you will always be in a better position. You wouldn't know what's going to happen on the test day. So whatever happens, if you shoot for 100, you're going to always land on a comfortable level with a good grade. So I will show you the books I used for my own TIS test. If you look closely, you will see this is the first book I used, ATI TIS. This textbook, I ordered it from the ATI themselves. So, and also the myometrics. Look at the myometrics. It's yellow in color. If you look at it, you will see myometrics. So it's a TIS, ATI TIS. This was really produced by Myometrics, another company. So the books I use, which I showed you right now to study for my TIS, are the ATI and Myometrics. So the ATI T's by ATI themselves is like it's like a summary book, and this book is not the best for content purposes. It's good if you want to like, oh, I want to start studying for T's. Let me look at something. It's a small book that you can read within a short period of time. It's not gonna overwhelm you. I feel if you want to start, you can read it just to give yourself a smooth entry into your study mode towards the TEAS test. It has some practice tests within each subject. It is a book that will not take you time to cover, but you do not want to use it. You don't want to use it alone when it comes to having a good grade in the TEAS test, because it doesn't really have more details on the subject matter. Demometrics is a big book and uh, detailed content. Like you saw from, you will see that the book is thick. It has more content than the other one. So this book is suitable for content, and it has more practice questions. I remember it has up to three practice questions that after studying you can take the practice test, and that practice test is really a challenging one that will put you in a better position on the day of your main test. So with the Demometrics, you have three standard practice tests. It's a good book. So both books are good. I used them and I passed, and I was able to get into the program. So if you want to look at them, you can. I remember I ordered the Demometrics from Amazon, and the blue one, the ATITs, I ordered it from the ATI from my account. So I had to order it from my account when I opened the account with the ATI. So both of them are good, but you don't have to rely on the ATITs alone, the blue one. So you're gonna use both of them to have more information for your TEAS test. So let's look at the general TEAS test tips. I have some tips that I would like to share with you. And one thing about this test, I would like you to know that in my subsequent videos, I still have 4 videos that um, I will show you guys on this particular topic, TEAS. So this is just an intro video towards the different sections of the TEAS that I will be talking about. So in each of the forthcoming videos, I will be starting with this particular slide I'm going to talk about right now. So by repeating the tips for the test, it's going to sink more. When you hear it often, you're going to retain it more. So that's why I'm using this strategy of repeating myself on this particular slide. So subsequent videos on the TEAS test, don't be surprised to hear me again on these tips. So I want to repeat myself on them throughout the four coming videos on TEAS test. So the more you hear the tips, the more it sinks into your memory, and the more it sinks, the easier for you to retain it, and also the easier for you to reproduce during the day of a test. So the test is multiple choice, so it is beneficial sometimes to make an educated guess. So you can see number one is educated guess. If you are not sure which answer is correct when you're taking your exams, make an educated guess. You can always be correct. Always follow your first hunch. When your instinct tells you this is the answer, go for it. Never think twice about it. I have done it several times, and it worked for me. So educated guess is allowed during the TEAS test. Another tip is that you can work backwards. Work backwards sometimes. What I mean is that you might have more success in answering a question by looking at the options first. and working backwards. This technique is especially useful in your math test or your math questions. So the work backward tips works better during your math exams. Let me take a sip of my water, please. So another tip we have there is look for absolute words. So look for words that signals incorrect statements. For instance, the use of the words like always, never, all, only, must, and will. So statements using absolute or definite words tend to be incorrect because they do not apply in all situations. Remember this. Such extreme words, opposite words, they do not apply in all situations. So pay attention to them. Whenever you see words like always, never, all, only, must, and will, they are absolute words. So they do not apply in all situations. So another tip is recognize opposite response options. If you find two opposite response choices, one is probably correct. They say, you are in an exam and they are telling you, oh, it is either you are maybe in anatomy and physiology. They will say, okay, a situation whereby they are talking about a patient and they're telling you he or she is running high temperature or low temperature. You see that these are two opposites. So it's either the temperature is high or low. So when you are taking such a test that has this type of question, you're going to know that the opposite response choices will give you only one answer. So one out of the opposites will always be the answer. So cover up the choices and answer the question. That's another tip. The choices might make you second guess yourself. So if you know the answer without looking at the choices, choose the option closest to your answer and not second guess yourself by reading the distractors. So the way this thing works is that you read the question and you know the answer. So you don't have to like literally start taking your time going through or just go straight to the answer since you know it. It's useless going through all the questions because when going through all the questions you may start doubting or being skeptical about what you have known or what you know already. So go straight to the option that has the answer you know. Just go straight there, click on it and keep moving. So another tip is rule out wrong answers. So when you are taking a test and you have a question, and the best trick or the best way to answer that question is by eliminating the wrong answers. So by eliminating the wrong answers, you will be left with the correct answer. So by using your existing knowledge, you might be able to identify an incorrect answer. So what you're going to do, eliminate incorrect answers and focus on the remaining choices. So the remaining choice, you will now be in a better position to pick the correct answer. So as a recap, in this video, I spoke about how you can go about registering for your T's. I also gave you the content areas of the T's and also went further to show you the sub-content areas where you're going to be tested upon. I also gave you a clue of how long you should study for your T's. I also told you about the score, what you need to score before you gain admission into the nursing program. I made you understand that always go for the highest score. Do not aim at the minimum, aim at the highest. So I also went further in this video to tell you that or to show you the books that I used for my own test. I told you it's important to go for the two instead of one, especially the ATI prepared by the ATI themselves. That one is low content. You have to. That was why I went for the Mometrics that I ordered from Amazon. Also, I also went further to give you Generalities test tips. Those tips, like I said earlier, I will always come back to them during my subsequent videos on the TEAS test. So I have 4 more subsequent videos on each of the sections of the TEAS test. So I will always repeat the Generalities test tips so that by repetition it's gonna sink more into your memory, and when it sinks more, you're gonna be able to recapitulate easily during your test day. Guys, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you gathered something important from what I've said in this video. I would like you to watch out for my subsequent videos. In the subsequent videos, I will dive into the sections of the T's one by one, starting from the reading, the math, followed by the science and the English language. I will delve into them one by one. So please look out for those videos. Coming Saturday, I will start with the reading section of the T's. As usual, guys, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that I will keep doing what I'm doing in order to help you to prepare better for your own nursing journey. Thank you. Have a nice weekend, and make sure you are safe out there.